Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. And today, we're being joined by AJ Wilcox, author of LinkedIn Ads Demystified. AJ, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. Are you ready to begin?
Oh, so ready. Born ready.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
I think it's the same feedback that I would give to someone considering starting a podcast or a book or any really major type of content. It's going to take a lot more time and energy than you think. So make sure you plan ahead and set deadlines that you'll actually follow.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Honestly, because of self-publishing and how easy it is, I'd say writing the dang book is the hardest part about getting published. I think self-publishing, it's relatively easy. And so the hardest part is just getting your mind and your experience on paper.
So why do you say that it's easy? Because I get a lot of different responses with this. I have people that say it's easy. Some people say it's the worst thing they ever did in their lives. So for those going down the self-publishing route, tell us why you feel it's easy, because you bring up a good point with this.
Yeah, I think, and I certainly don't want to demean anyone's experience who is going through a tough time. I just mean that anyone really, sorry about that. We might have to edit this part out as I stumble. I just mean that anyone who wants to can get it published, and it's not like you have to go and interview a whole bunch of publishing houses and go through interviews and that kind of rigmarole. But certainly, for this book, I went with a service provider who this is what they do. They help self-publishers get the book out and get it reviewed and all that type of thing, and that certainly made the process a heck of a lot easier for me. I know it would have been several degrees harder than if I would have gone with a traditional publishing house.
If you don't mind me asking, which company are you using?
Yes, let me tell you. I think it's called Get Her Done. Let's see. The guy who did it, his name is Kevin, spelled with a C, like seven. Kevin, what's his last name?
So they're helping you out?
Yes, tons. I wish I could tell you his last name. Sorry, I'm just going to do a quick email search, and I can tell you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you're planning to use in your upcoming book launch that you feel is going to work well.
Well, I've already seen some value in just launching a microsite, and you can see it by going to LinkedIn And what I did is on different podcast interviews, I would share this. The podcast host would link to it. And I've also used elements on my website to point people towards it. So if you're on b2linked.com and kind of scrolling around, you'll probably notice a little pop-up from below the page that says, hey, be notified when the book goes live. So those are a couple things that have worked really well. And one other thing that has, this wasn't even for my book, I just went on LinkedIn and did a post that said, hey, here's this book from someone named Neil Schaefer that I really liked. And that one post got like 4,900 views already. And several people posted their receipt in the comments as a picture. And again, it's not even mine. I don't get anything for this book. But I think posting on LinkedIn organically is a great way.
Well, you mentioned microsite. So tell us a little bit about that and what's the process?
Yeah, I mean, a microsite, it really can be any kind of website you want. It could be a single page, it could be multiple pages, but really all I wanted for just teasing people and getting interest about the book coming is I wanted information about here's what it's going to contain, and here's what you're going to get out of it, here's who should be reading it, and a form that basically puts you on a list so I can notify you. And those are the three things that I just want to make sure is on this site. Whether it's just a single long page or a lot more intricate and detailed, I think those are just the elements that you need. And it can be like you'd build any site.
So essentially a landing page.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. So speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
So I am big on audio, I'm sure you can tell. But one of the last books that I've read that I really got a lot out of was Drive by Daniel Pink. And my favorite part about it, my big takeaway, is this idea that everyone else around you, their motivations are likely different from what yours are. And if you can find out what drives and motivates them, like your employees and like your potential customers, you'll find that if you cater to those desires and those motivations, your employees will stay longer. They'll be more, they'll serve better. Your clients will work more collaboratively with you. And that's what I got out of that book, and I absolutely love it.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
So this one's a little off the beaten path, but there's a Jim Carrey quote that I absolutely love, and it's, I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer. And the reason why I share that one, saving money from a very young age was my sole life goal. And I wouldn't spend anything I didn't need to. It was all about amassing. And as soon as, here later in life, I started spending money on experiences and things that would help my relationships blossom, that instantly changed my life for the better. I realized that money is just a tool, but experiences and relationships last forever.
I love that you mentioned that. That's actually one of my philosophies. I've had a couple of, let's just say, near-death experiences, and I will not ever define the question of what if for myself. So in other words, when I left teaching a few years ago to focus on publishing, that was because I didn't want to know about the what if. I didn't know what if I didn't do this. Now, I've gone to Maui 5 times. And the thing is, I take advantage of every single opportunity. Even now in COVID, I have spent thousands of dollars doing renovations to my house. Basically turning the backyard into an oasis. Because to me, with being in a bubble, with I have an elderly family I take care of. So in my own situation, I want to have the best experience possible. So outside in the backyard, we've got blue LED lights everywhere. I've got literally 300 pounds of cobalt blue rocks out there, different rock gardens, got the pool. And the reason I'm mentioning this is that I do well financially, and I don't mean that as a brag or anything. It's just our companies do well, but I'm not going to be the type of person that just keeps everything in the bank. I want to be able to enjoy life, because the thing is, you can't take it with you. And I think that's the biggest thing. You can amass enough to take care of your family in the future, but they only need so much. And so why not enjoy life? Why not have those experiences? Because I'd rather do that than have hundreds of $1,000s in a bank or, buried underneath the ground, you know what I mean? Or stuffed in a mattress.
Oh, amen to that. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it a lot more than just amassing it in a bank account.
Well, and that's the thing. You can't take it with you. I love what Mark Cuban said. Mark Cuban said a while back, talking about how money is not the key to happiness, but it's an instrument to enhance your happiness and to make your life better. And that's the philosophy that I do.
Oh, yes. 100% believer here.
Well, AJ, I want to thank you for being on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
A couple different ways. If you go to b2linked.com, our website, and fill out the form on any of the pages, it doesn't go to a sales person. Like, we don't have a sales team, and you won't be put on a newsletter or anything like that. It just goes directly to my inbox, and I'm the founder, and I'm not a sales guy. So feel free to reach out and ask anything you want. Or, of course, I'm really active on LinkedIn. So shoot me a customized invite so I know that you heard me on Paul's show, and then I'd love to be connected with you there.
AJ, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thanks so much.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how to get your book published with a proven system that works, grab a free copy of my book at getpublishedpodcast.com.